just served on a cold plate. You hear the roll of dishes down when the world will stop. Without a sound in a moment, you will cry for help. And we only think about ourselves, oh yeah. The first time that I met you, I thought it looked so sweet. I stood around for the hills, beating a retreat. When I heard it.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a little Friday afternoon Cthulhu here on Tales from the Grim. Today, we will be traveling beneath the waves. Perhaps it is a place familiar to some of you, perhaps not. It doesn't matter. Our players and the characters that they are controlling have no idea what lies beneath the waves of the mid-Atlantic. They have ideas and theories. They've been told of a wondrous place called Rapture. Will it live up to the dream? I think we all know the answer to that. But before we get started, I would like to tell you, we are sponsored here on the channel in all ways by Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice. Please go to www.roll20.net. Start your own free account today. They have just added the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition set. Get in there, use some dynamic lighting on your players, which will be coming into play next week for us. And watch as you can create a tabletop just as creepy as the one that you would have with a candlelight and a wooden table. But how can you directly affect the game, you ask? If you look straight down, you can see that there are donations. These donations can help the crew. You can give them health. The gift of life in Cthulhu is a grand one indeed. You can help one, you can help all. You can give a weapon. You can give the mysteries of a plasmid to one or to all. But if you're someone that would like to see a challenge thrown the player's way, then there is a donation for you, as the Big Daddy can arrive at any time. And when they arrive, they have a plot-specific element in play, meaning the players cannot pass that by. They will have to engage, in one way or another, the biggest of daddies. But we know how we can be here, our sponsor. We know why we are here, to travel to Rapture. We know we'll be powered by Chaosium's Call of Cthulhu. The only thing left is to meet the players, find out where we're going, and tell a tale. I am with you all. Keeper, players, Legion, we will sow the roots of this story together, and we will watch it grow, cheer the fallen, herald the heroes. But let us begin. Heaven, Shangri-La, Rapture. Many need to believe that somewhere, someplace, there is a world that will accept them utterly. Now, most believe that this place is rooted firmly in the afterlife and locked away, inaccessible until our deaths. But that may be true for most. But for a few with vision that surpasses the mortal coil, there is Rapture. Not traveled to in death, but in life. A city where the artist can create without threat of governmental standards or societal censors. Where a scientist can feel safe pursuing her vision of the future. Where all free thinkers think freely. Living on the sweat of your brow and beholden to none. But like all such places of unfettered learning, Rapture must be cautious. Therefore, only those invited to the great city-state beneath the waves can gain admittance. Vetted and checked, some wait years between communiques before they are told they have been chosen. 5 such invitees are currently en route to Rapture in a wondrous Bathysphere piloted by its creator, George Preston. A soft music fills the plush but small 6-seat vehicle, while the wonders of the deep ocean ghost along the front viewport. It is quiet. It is calm. for now. Welcome in, players. There is a gentle horn music playing inside the Bathysphere, which is a plush and comfortable, well, submarine is too Spartan and crass a word, but Bathysphere speaks of the wonders of H.G. Wells and titans of imagination, and so a Bathysphere is what we will call it. You are descending through the waves, piloted by George Preston, who every so once in a while will point out, "You see the size of that squid?" But continues to go whether or not you answer him. We're going to go around through the cabin of the Bathysphere, see who we are talking to, who we should be rooting for or against, and what do they look like. So please tell me, your character. You don't have to tell me your occupation if you don't want to, but if your character were to kick open a saloon door in the Old West, what would we all see? Myth, let's start with you, my friend.
All right, you would see a 6'1", gangly-looking man, much like myself, with a mustache that goes in very, very finely coiffed mustache that goes into heavy sideburns, and wears suspenders and an opened button-up shirt, no bow tie. I'm sorry, and he has a briefcase full of what maybe he's opened it up a couple times to check and make sure everything's there. And if you've taken a glance, you see that it's full of combs, jars of blue liquid, as well as razors, and knives, and scissors of the like. And he makes sure everything's all checked and set, and clasps it back up, and then continues to look in awe at the depths of this, the fathoms of what he's never thought possible.
And as you stare in wonder, we cross over to a seat near you. Tom, who do we see?
You see a little old lady, quite short, probably only about 5'1", if that. She's got very thick, curly grey hair, glasses just at the point of her nose. She's got quite a thin face, quite pointed, but the nose is quite short. The glasses seem very, very big on the nose. She is wearing a scarf. She's got what seems to be multiple layers of jumpers and cardigans and jackets. You know, she seemed quite cold on her, her lap, where she's wearing quite a long skirt. She's got quite a big bag, which is closed, and she's there, and she's holding her nose and trying to blow as her ears have probably popped underneath, so she's trying to get those to unpop, and that's what she's currently doing most of the time now.
Fantastic. And as we kind of pan through the Bathysphere interior, pausing a moment to go past the window as a large kind of almost unidentified flying object-esque jellyfish goes by, and George Preston again, "Did you see that?" As you all go down. Alice, in your seat, who do we see?
You see a woman of about 5'3", 5'4". She's trying to not look too excited, but she can't help but jump out of her seat a little bit every time one of these things are pointed out to her, but if no one else does, she's a professional. She's trying to keep some form of air about her. She has a very sharp sort of bob of hair. She looks fairly smart. She's in high-waisted, loose trousers, which are belted, braces, and a shirt with a jacket sort of just shrugged over her shoulders, and a small leather satchel to her side, which doesn't really have that much in it other than a lipstick, a notebook, and a pen. And in her mind, that's all she needs. But Felicity sort of looks out of these windows and tries to keep everything calm, but if you look at her face, you can see the excitement as she tries to sit very prim and proper, upright in her seat.
So from prim and proper with a touch of excitement Let's go over to the next closest seat. Scrat, who do we see?
Hi. You'll all see Zach de la Shaka. You may recognize him. Zach started out in Long Beach, moved across to LA. He was a childhood star. Before he gave up on all that, the Hollywood scene had let him see some things he didn't like. Now he's famous for getting down on the funk scene over in Harlem. He runs a band called Funk Up the Feds. Big focus on funk music and fighting for what's right. He kind of looks a bit shabby. He's wearing a suit. He's got a bowler hat that he kind of holds in his hand and puts on now and then, but I don't know what to do with it. He looks kind of nervous. Bit awkward.
So, from the nerves of somebody who is done with the acting life, let us go up to somebody who is in the throes of it. Leonie, who do we see?
So in the glow of a lit cigarette, you see a flame of red hair. A petite woman of 5'4", dressed in a silk slip, feather boa, elbow-high gloves. She fiddles with some pearls around her neck, and there's a slight smirk on her face. This woman looks like Trouble, as if Trouble would be her middle name. But she's chain smoking, and she's standing right by the ashtray, so as soon as she finishes one, she stabs it out and lights another.
And as this is 1960, the ashtrays are plentiful, smoking is encouraged for your health, and there is the briefest of circulation systems here in the bathysphere to help filter out some of the captured air. So in addition to the plush interior and the whizzing of marine life outside, there is a perhaps pleasant in this day and age haze of smoke that also captures a bit of a nightclub quality to this bathysphere as it dives. But George Preston kind of fiddles with some knobs and checks some gauges, and he'll turn around occasionally and say, "We're getting closer," then point out something else. "Look at that." And as time passes, he turns and looks at all of you and says, "About 5 minutes, and then the welcome party will be ready for you, so I see that you're all dressed in your finest. Have fun. I mean, I know you've been quiet, but get to know one another. It's a city, but it's a small one. A community of like-minded folks." And he turns back around.
All right, that gives me time then. You see, Jasper starts to look into the reflection of the, I think of the bathysphere, and as I think different creatures and such flick across the window, the viewing port, he takes a step back and gets startled, but he's really determined to tidy up a bit before the welcome party.
And the rest of you have a moment to do anything that you would like. Tidy up, talk. You are on approach, getting ready to dock.
Gonna be like
Did-
down there.
Sorry, what was that?
What do you all think is gonna be like down there?
Wet?
Wet, okay. Wet.
No, I have no idea.
I've heard it's paradise.
No,
That's what I heard.
anything like this so far, like the trip, it's gonna be quite magnificent. Oh, like a whale just in the distance just starts to make its silhouette known. Okay, so look at that there.
Do you see all them fishes?
Yes. Yes, I do. Does anybody have a fish allergy? I feel like we're gonna probably have a lot of that on the menu.
Felicity's only half listening. She's sort of now just leaning out the window, sort of putting her hand towards it to really get a look at everything that goes past, and she's just nodding to people as they say things, but she's not really listening.
Then Felicity, is with you that we will stay as you are looking out the window. And then George, who is the closest to the window as well, operating the craft, turns and kind of shoulder leads down to you, Felicity. Here it is. And up over a rise, there is Rapture. Glittering like New York's Times Square beneath fathoms of water. It is a bright oasis, the opposite of a desert, hydrated but lively. You can see the lights flicker and dance across the great underwater skyline. But George just continues to watch Felicity. He likes the reactions of somebody that is seeing the city for the first time.
If anything, she actually sort of loses that composure and jumps up at that moment, dropping the pen from her hand, looking around at the others. She's like, "It's there, look at it!
That's it there.
It's magnificent."
It is magnificent.
Oh,
That's
bloody
unreal.
hell, that's amazing, that is. Oh. That's the second best thing I've ever seen.
It's the first.
Well, I was on top of the Eiffel Tower, and then there was this lovely gentleman, and well, anyway, it was the second best thing I've ever seen.
Oh. From the top of the world to the bottom.
Mm.
Quite a sight.
Mm.
Look at that, and people are living down here. Amazing.
They ought to breathe.
How do they breathe?
How are we gonna breathe?
George hears this. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. The air filtration system is top notch. This is the best air you'll ever have down here. We're getting ready to go in. Everybody sit down. It's not bumpy, but it kind of jerks a bit. And as you all settle in, and as George drives you into, he flips a couple knobs, and you hear the sound go off in the bathysphere as he instead kind of creates and prepares for the most delicate part of the travel. And you see the streets lining along Fleet Hall here. You see the Kickettes apparently are playing in Fleet Hall, which looks to be some type of mock-up of Radio City Music Hall, but you zoom past it, and George carefully guides you into a tube, and as you enter into the tube, you can hear the pressure, and Deirdre, you would probably have to pop your ears again as this kind of pressurization began to take its effect or have an effect on the interior of the bathysphere. But then you hit and you feel we're locked in, and you begin to rise. And what was the majesty of the deep ocean enters into the majesty of the port of Rapture. And through the window, you can see a launch and stairs leading up. And as you lock in again, George gets up out of his seat and begins to climb up a small, like 3 or 4 rung ladder to get to a hatch at the top, and says, "I'll go out, lock us in, unlock the front, let y'all right out." And y'all need anything before I leave?
No, I'm fine. Thank
I've
you.
got everything right here.
Quite all right, thank you.
Good. He gets up and
How's it going?
closes the hatch, and you all hear as the hatch seals. And on the exterior, on the other side of the glass from which he piloted, you hear dully the sound of "koom" as George lands on the steel grating on the other side. He doesn't look back at you. "I brought them! Now do what you said. Really? Something you promised. And very quietly, you all hear, "Release who?" George. Jane? Jane, is that you? Jane, honey, what have they done? Are you okay? No. Jane is dead. I am better. No, Janie, no. I did what you said. And you see George run up the steps and exit. And you realize it's getting very warm in the Bathysphere.
What was that all about?
Seem weird to anyone else?
This seems very weird. Is it... Should probably open the hatch, shouldn't we? It's getting hot in here. Not sure if I want to leave, though.
Weird is a bit of an understatement, don't you think? I mean, I did what you said. I brought them here. Now release them.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
To my ears, it did.
Aren't we supposed to be like great minds or something here to do something nice or something?
I was expecting a party.
So was I.
I was wearing my best cardigan and
I was
everything.
expecting more clients.
But they might be still here. Maybe this is part of the surprise. You know? You know, like they all think we're, ooh, and then we go in and then surprise! You know?
Right.
Welcome to Rapture. Let us freak you out.
Yeah.
Rapture, let's just wait here in the Bathysphere and cook alive. I'm going to try to get this open here. Hold this,
I'll
please.
give you a hand, yeah.
All right.
Jasper kind of hands off the briefcase to somebody, and he tries to climb the ladder and see if he can crank open the little airlock.
Make me a mechanical repair, or if you happen to have locksmith, I will take that as well.
Am I rolling purple die or green die?
Green for me, please. You're gonna. That's a strength roll. Are you trying to just strong?
No.
No.
What do you want me to roll?
Yeah, mechanical repair or locksmith
Mechanical.
down. Yeah. It's locked.
Can't get it open. Not sure if there's some sort of lock here.
Well, and she's the one who's taken his briefcase. She's like, sort of holding it fairly awkwardly as she's looking up. She's like, well, did we see how he opened it and closed it?
I wasn't looking. I was too busy in awe, staring at the beauty of the Rapture.
Are there any buttons or controls by the driver's seat?
Roll me a spot hidden check, and this will kind of be retroactive to see if you can remember what George did before he left.
Green?
Yes, please. You remember, Leonie, that he did something, but Lilith can't figure out exactly the sequence, or perhaps he was shielding.
Did he said that there was a front door, right? Like he was going to get up, go out, and open the front door.
That's correct. He said he was getting out to open a front door.
Right. I'm going to look at the front to see if it looks like a door.
You can
like,
see,
you know, it opens up.
Yeah, without need for a spot hidden, even with somebody of your advanced years, I can tell you that there are hinges that...
I know how doors work. Is there a handle inside then? Like something to open it from within? Because I would assume there would be.
I will require a spot hidden roll for that one.
Oh no. Oh no, my spot hidden sucks. I succeed!
You see what is labeled in 3 different languages. You see English, Spanish, and German. It says emergency exit.
Ooh. By the way, I actually put my spot hidden wrong on that. It's a lot more, but I've got to do that now. Oh dear. Well, I think this is how we do it, and I pull it.
It pulls, and you all feel that pop in your ears, but it moves about a half inch and seems as if it is latched by something, perhaps on the exterior of the craft. You have released the inner seal, though.
Oh. Well, I've done my bit. Why don't you two strapping young lads go and put a shoulder to it?
You mean you've done your bit? We're still not out.
Well, I helped. I did more than you.
All right. Well, so what do you want me to do then?
Well, I've unlocked the hinge this side. There might be something on the other side, so you can try.
How do you expect me to go get on the other side?
Well, I was just expecting to, use your strapping young body to put a shoulder to the door and, do it that way.
All right, I'll try my best.
All right. I'll help. Let's do a run up, shall we?
All right. Ready?
Let's roll some strength rolls here from our strapping young lads.
2, 3. Ah!
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
So with a 49 out of 50 and with an 86 out of 45, two of you hit. Zach, you hit and it hits back. But Jasper, as you hit, you're able to feel it give a little bit. Whatever latch was on the outside, you suspect that it's not nearly as sturdy. It's more for show. So it about 3 inches open, and you feel that you can see what remains of this kind of Y hook that is towards the top corner. You think that you could probably use your arm and manipulate it open with a mechanical repair or a locksmith roll. Or someone could.
All right. Anybody have small hands here? We got to try to get this. It looks like it's being braced by some sort of hook here.
Could Zach look around for a manual?
Yeah, roll me a spot hidden.
I'll use free luck to make that a success, please.
Okay. You end up finding a compartment that does have operating instructions for a bathysphere. It does say that there is an exterior lock on it, but you can see now that as you're quickly kind of gather the information from what is basically a broad pamphlet, you can see that George has done something to lock the top door, and you're unsure how to undo what he has done. Your best course is probably what you've already started. However, when you open up the pamphlet, you do see that a photograph falls out. It's George with a woman and 2 small children, and it says George and Jane Preston.
Wasn't he talking to a Jane outside?
You found this?
Why are you going through his personal stuff?
Well, no, I was looking through the manual and there's a picture in it.
Oh.
Does it help us get out of here?
Not really. It just says Jane and George. What does it say? Jane and George
Preston.
Preston.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Whilst this is happening, Felicity's rolling up her sleeve, looking at like her wrist and the gap in the door, like really eyeing it up, trying to think it through. And she takes the briefcase and shoves it back into sort of Jasper's, just like, take this. And she sort of maneuvers over as like, okay, and tries to sort of squeeze like her fingers and as much as her wrist can to flick this thing open.
Yeah, you can absolutely get it through that way. Everybody else, Jasper and Zach were talking about the pamphlet. I would like Deirdre and Lilith to roll me spot hiddens, please.
Oh, okay. I fail. Fuck, I really fail.
Lilith, it's you then, as perhaps you are lighting another cigarette or preparing to. Your gaze in the bathysphere as Felicity is feathering her hand up past the seam of this great door that it takes most of the front window. And as she's working up there and kind of fidgeting with it, You see a shadow at the top of the stairs, and it begins to run. Go, go, taking the stairs 3 and 4 at a time. Go, go, go. And it's charging for the door. It's lowering a shoulder. You believe it means to close the door again. I need you to roll a sanity check at this realization.
Okay, can I also try and pull Felicity away? Because someone could lose their arm like that.
Let's see how the sanity check rolls out.
Okay. How does one roll a sanity check on this thing?
Look right below your characteristics. You'll see your sanity, and it should have a number beside it. It's just has its own little box, and you are able to see and understand exactly what's happening as this person is maniacally giggling beneath some type of mask. It looks to be a bunny. But as this person is charging and throws their shoulder, you may act. And you alone, what would you like to do?
I would like to grab Felicity and pull her away from the door, please.
All right, roll for me then. Anything that you believe accomplishes your goal. It can be a general strength check, or it can be a dex check. It can be a sleight of hand. It can be really anything that you would like. Just, in fact, a bit of your nail as you pull it back, Felicity, you feel it clipped as it closes, and this person looks up, and as they look from just the other side of the glass, where before the wonders of marine life flitted past, now is a nightmare of biology, as you see this dirty mask, but beneath it, one lip is pulled low as if it is stapled to underneath the chin in some perpetual half frown. Welcome to Rapture. And it runs back up the stairs.
I see as Felicity is fallen back, probably onto Lilith, and almost out of frustration, she kicks the door. It does nothing. She's just like, what are you playing at? As she's sort of out of frustration more than anything, and scrabbles up to her feet. Like, thank you very much, and looks down at her nose. That could have been a lot worse.
I would like everyone except for Lilith to roll me a sanity check, though.
Oh no.
Here we go.
I don't know if I have this correct, but
It looks good.
Doesn't seem to be rolling. Hang on, I'll roll a 1d100.
Is that a success for you, Alice?
That is a success for me.
Okay, so Myth, Jasper is going to lose 4 sanity points as you witness what could have been. I will also let you all know that Paladin has contributed for you all to receive a random plasmid. So we will see how that plays out very, very shortly. But as you're sitting there, and with the realization that there could have been a wrist guillotine in play, you're able to recuperate. And what is your course of action as the bathysphere's temperature continues to rise now that the door is closed again?
See that? Did you see the face on that?
Do you think that was our welcome party?
The face was stapled to their chin there. You see that? The lip was... And they were fine with it.
I don't know what it was, but it almost took my hand off. If it wasn't for
This is freaky.
a friend here.
Well, we're not going to learn or do anything stuck in here. So you two, heave toe. It worked last time. Come on, don't let the fact that 3 strapping young women are
I'm
here
not sure if I want to go out
watching you.
there, to be honest with you.
Well, you know, we can't do much in here, can we? Apart from, you know, like, cook.
But we're safer
I'm
in
getting
here.
slightly warm. I've taken off one of my cardigans.
Hang on.
It-
Why don't we just see if we can turn on the aircon?
This has aircon? I can
Well,
have a
it did a
look.
minute ago. It's only since we stopped it started getting hot, right?
Well, let me have a look. I'll have a look for an aircon button, and I'm going to go across all the big buttons.
Maybe we should just stay inside. Wait for them to come here.
With the previous spot hiddens, I'll let you all notice that the smoke that is in the cabin now is not coming from any of your cigarettes.
Oh. No, we really have to go, I'm afraid. I feel there's a fire around us, and we're going to cook in here alive, so we got to get this door open.
All right.
Okay, well, hang on, because I was by George as he was looking, and would I have seen anything extra from the angle I was at because George was showing me?
Sure,
things
yeah.
out from
Go
there?
ahead, and I'll reduce this. I'll give you plus 20 on a spot hidden because you were the closest to the window. So yeah, with that would make it with the 20 or 22. You saw that he had several different latches that he manipulated, a couple dials. You would know how to turn them backwards in that order if you wished.
Yeah, I'm just going to try something. It could go horribly wrong, but let's stay positive. And she starts to pull everything back in the reverse order. Literally just hoping that the door opens, even if it just lets some air in.
You hear a crack from the seal of the door at the top.
Okay, as Deirdre said, your turn. And she points to Zach and Jasper.
I mean, all right, I'll give it another go, I guess. I'm not using my shoulder again, though. That hurt.
It's the top airlock.
The top one seems to have opened. At the very least, there's a crack in it now where the seal's been undone.
All right. I have an idea. Why don't you? It's going to be weird, but you're going to have to try to go upside down. I'll try to hold you, and you can try to kick it open. Otherwise, you'll risk hurting your neck or your head.
Yeah, I got it. What, link arms, walk up the wall sort of thing?
Right, yeah, all right, that'll work, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what we'll do with link arms or link elbows. And I'll try to spot him as he kind of just like walks up and tries to kick it open.
Somewhere, a promoter at Coney Island in New York is saying, "This is what I needed. I needed this before I lost it all." Okay, so you'll go up there. Roll me a strength, Scrat. As
Next time Scrat and I see each other, we have to try this though.
We'll see how easy it is.
Both of us? You just have to hold him, right?
Yeah, you just have to hold him, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. Yo, he's light as a feather.
Easy peasy.
So this is something that if you all might want to think about, you know, the origins of Cirque du Soleil, as you move over and with a kick, Zach is able to, as the top lid goes flying, and you hear a crack against the top on the other side as it swings.
Ooh, ain't they flexible?
It worked. That was a surprise. All right, let's get you down. There you go.
Yeah, give me a boost. I'll give everyone else a hand up.
All right.
No, you just undo the latch and I open the door. It'll be fine. Just undo the latch.
Oh yeah, that's.
We'll
See,
walk
this
out.
is why we're down here with great
lady.
minds. This is why we're down here with great
Why?
minds.
This is why.
Oh, see, just leave the men for the brawn and the thinking to the ladies. That's the way we'll do it.
Who's going outside?
I mean, I'm light. You already lifted me.
That's right, get up and out. Up and at him.
Yeah, all right. Can I, like, get up, though, and, like, before I push myself all the way up, can I just have a real good listen?
Absolutely. In fact, you can roll me a listen.
I'm a musician, so I'm pretty good at this. Oh, shit.
Yep, real good.
you can hear the drips. You can hear the there seems to be multiple slight leaks across the expanse of the broad room you have just looked into. You can hear
Metronome of leaking water.
you can hear a crackling that sounds like electricity or some current driven failure very close along the exterior of the Bathysphere. But other than the voices, George, the mythical Janie, the person that just tried to run down and do something, you can't hear anything like that.
Yeah, it seems safe enough. I pull myself up and out and head over and see what's happening with this hatch. What's going on here?
You're able to, you can see that it's bent, but on this side, no roll required. You can pop it open and are quickly able to open the door if you desire to let everybody else into Rapture.
Yeah, I'll open the door. I'll stand there, give a hand up to everyone who's coming out.
Oh, thank you, young man. Oh,
Thank you.
As you're all
Sure.
exiting the Bathysphere, I'll let you know two things. One, that electrical crackle and smell is coming from the blind side of the Bathysphere. The Bathysphere itself is beginning to list as if whatever function or device capability or instrument is failing is taking with it a little bit of its ability to kind of remain upright. There's some type of stabilization problem. And the second thing I will let you know is that Patrick donated for a Big Daddy. Welcome to Rapture.
Yes.
Sick.
Before
There it
you
is.
you see a staircase that's stretching upwards. You can see a walkway and a grand window. It is dark though. It is, you can see that there's lighting, but only maybe every one and every third light is lit, and you're not sure that it's to its maximum luminescence. It seems to be half powered, a sputtering, a flickering. And as you look around, you see the remnants of grandeur. This Art Deco masterpiece that seems to have too much moisture is beginning to mildew and grow. You see large plaques that lead directly out, and they speak of art, industry, and science. And a large banner just at the top of the stairs says, "The great chain is guided by our hand."
such a shame. It was such a nice place. Oh. Oh. I guess
Oh.
there's no party.
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to jump out and say surprise now, but what do you
I
think
hope not.
happened?
I have no idea.
It looks neglected.
Very.
Well, we could always, find George and ask him. And I think we're going to need him to get us out of here, because he can drive one of these things. So, maybe find him again.
Right.
Unless anyone has a better idea. No? Okay, cool. Before we go, would anyone like a toffee? Because I've got quite a few in here.
I
would love a
actually would,
toffee.
please. Yes,
Oh,
please.
okay. Here's one. Here you go.
Thank you.
They're very nice. Perfect.
I'm good.
Oh, you okay? All right, no problem. I'll save yours for later.
Thank you.
So if you would all like to leave the launch, I just would like to know who's walking up the stairs first and second and third. And
We
like
wanna
if you had a
call for
marching
George.
order, right?
Like as if we had a marching order.
I was helping everyone up, so I guess I'm at the back.
I'll go first.
Cool. Someone needs to
Second.
help me over these stairs. So you're a strapping young man. Zach, you can help me up. Just take my arm. There we go. Oh.
I'm a little bit nervous
Paradise?
about you being down here. I thought this would be paradise, but
Paradise, they don't have one of those lifty stair things.
I know. What kind of thing is this? Even Blummin' Hilton has a blummin' lift. This is cheap.
Myth, you have been gifted by Fey Machina a weapon. Roll me a D100. The lower,
Nice. Thank you, Fame.
the better.
Lower the better. About a 66.
We'll say this, as you are leaving, leaned up against a lockbox with other, what you presume would at one point have been other tools. You see the remnants, kind of a deteriorated mallet head. Its rubber has gone bad. But you see strangely hung as if left by someone, something in a scabbard.
What's this here? Hold on.
And he reaches for it.
The barber has a blade. It is a saber. It does 1d8 plus 1 plus your, if you have a DB multiplier, that will say down in the combat area if you do. So
Saber. 1d8 plus 1?
1d8 plus 1. Yep.
How's that?
Point this out as well, but Myth rolled a 6 and then a 66.
Oh, right.
He's responsible for it all.
It's my fault. Oh, crap. My backstory.
That happens a lot on this channel.
Part of the branding. Plus my DB, whatever that was. DB?
Yeah, if you have if your body size is big, if your body is not that big, then and your power and stuff kind of go into it. So if you don't have it, it should put it down there for you if you have it, like a plus 1d3 or something like that. If it's down there,
correct?
if it doesn't, don't worry about it. Let me see.
It's in the middle, just where it says Call of Cthulhu. Underneath that, the 2 boxes.
I see. Thank you. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
I rolled a test roll. Is that good?
Looks good. Let me take a
Great.
look.
All right.
Yeah, 1d8 plus 1. Yep. Alrighty. So as you are all moving up the staircase, our first person is again.
Me.
Okay, Lilith. Lilith, as you get to the top, you see that the grand window that opens up in front of you gives you a fantastic view of Rapture. It, probably in the day and the height of this place, this would have been a grand sight indeed to be introduced to. You can see as you look out the bistro, and you can see many elements of what would look like a surface city, but here submerged beneath the waves, the neon still lit, still bright, still inviting. But as you get up, you're the first to notice that there are placards and signs that are kind of abandoned on the floor. They say things like, "Rapture is dead. Ryan doesn't own us. We are not property." And as you look around, you see that these have all been cast aside. There is a layer of grime and footprints over many of the surfaces of the signs. You can also see that there is an official-looking placard that says the Rapture transit system is closed. And this is taking place at the same time, if not just a little bit before, the very first game. But you all, as you walk up, without need for a roll of listen or a spot hidden, as you all take in the dripping and the sights and sounds and musty smell of the now dying Rapture, you all hear the following from the shadows. "Stand tall for the beast of America. Lay down like a naked dead body. Keep it real for the people working overtime. You can't stay living off the government's dime. Stand tall for the people of America. Stand tall for the man next door. We are free in the land of America. We ain't going down like this."
Yeah. I'd like to take my gun out of its holster, please.
Okay.
Which is pretty much just strapped to my thigh, hidden underneath my dress.
Oh,
Oh my.
It is in your hand.
okay.
Should I? Hold on.
And I fumble with the briefcase and the scabbard that I'm holding, and then I try to draw the blade.
All right.
Briefcase and a scabbard in one hand and a saber in the other.
You are built for commerce and combat.
Yes.
So, weapon wielders, are you leading the way?
Yeah, I'm second. Doesn't make sense because I'm a melee, but yeah.
Even though I'm wearing high heels and I'm probably clinking away, I'd like to try and be quiet, please.
Oh, sure.
I don't want anyone to get the jump on me.
That sounds great. Everybody roll stealth rolls that wants to be quiet.
Hey.
That's the best thing about Cthulhu, when you have nothing in the skill and you still you can crush it.
Perfect.
So
Can I help out with a listen as well, maybe?
Alice, since you rolled a critical on your stealth, here's what I'm going to allow you to do. We have a critical and we have a fumble. So the fumble is there's no coming back from that. But with the critical, I am going to allow you to separate yourself from the party if you wish. Not leave them, but kind of slip into the shadows.
I think it starts off more that she's seeing everyone grab a weapon or have fists, and she's just rummaging about in her bag, and she's throwing the lipstick out, and she's sort of, it's like one of those mechanical pencils, and she just like nervously pushes the lead out. And I think realizing maybe she's lost a tiny bit of distance with them, then goes straight up against the wall, and if she can find any shadow, she wants to move in between that rather than anything else.
So if we are a camera and we are staying with Felicity for a moment, we would see the clutching of the leaded mechanical pencil, and as you kind of put your back against the wall, the shadow takes you as if you slip beneath the surface of the waves yourself. For all intents and purposes, Felicity has vanished from this scene. That is a critical. 1 in 100 chance to do something awesome. Awesome is done when it's a 1. So you've disappeared. Remind me of that if I do something terrible to you. Now, a fumble isn't necessarily equally awful, but what it does is the fumble is going to, you drop your gun for a second, Lilith, as you kind of pull it out. And I'm not saying that your hands are shaking, I'm not taking player agency, but I'm just saying for whatever reason, this is the 1 time in 100 that you've drawn this weapon and it just slipped right out of your fingers.
It's these damn gloves.
It's the gloves.
Oh, careful there.
I reach down to pick it up, and I think I trip. Or I kick it, and it slides, because I failed as well. But I didn't fumble, but I think I go to pick it up, and I think maybe I slip or something and kick the thing just a little bit farther.
Sorry about that.
I spend more time trying to grab it than actually be stealthy.
Just asking real quick. We had another donation come in before I say who gets it. So as you, you hear the crack of the gun, and then the saber kind of makes an off-key King Kong as you reach and grab, and everything kind of goes to pot for that good 2 or 3 seconds that rings throughout the space, and there's some shifting in the shadows as movement begins to cast its head. But there's one direction to go once you reach the catwalk with the grand window that looks out. You can see that there is a terminal just off to the left. And if you head towards that way, the sounds of the movements of the shadows continue to heighten. Felicity, as you are in the shadows and you look back, you see your bathysphere kind of lurch for a moment, and water begins to rush into the hole from the door that you walked through, and then it slowly slips beneath the water. And from just beside you, inside a vent, you hear, "Oh, you lost your Mr. Bubbles too."
I think she straightens upright. She clutches that pencil very closely, sort of to her chest, as if it's going to do anything. And her eyes go very, very wide. And do I get the sense that this thing knows that I'm here from that? Or, like, was it talking to me, or did it seem like it was talking to itself?
Roll me a psychology.
Okay. I technically should be able to do that.
You believe it was, and again, this isn't a magic spell, but you believe that this comment was directed more towards, it's a general statement. You're unaware that this person knows that you're here. This voice knows that you're here.
Okay. I think if anything, she just stays deadly still for a moment because she wants to, in her head, if it moves, she wants to hear where it's going. But her breath is like, she's trying to steady her breath and make sure that she's so nervous that even like her shirt crumpling or something could alert this thing in the event.
You notice beside you that there is, much like the Art Deco designs, you can see this almost like floor to midway wall, large, like porthole-esque vent that's in the wall. And as you're watching from your place, you are one with the shadows, with that critical that you rolled. But as you're sitting there looking, you see 4 tiny white fingers creep around the lip, and you see a small chin peek out and the profile of this stark white featured face. And as soon as the profile extends to show the eyes, you can see that the eye is glowing a brilliant gold.
I think she's almost enthralled by it for a moment. And she can't help but just stare. In her head, she's running over, just don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything. But she's trying to take in every bit of detail she can, so she can remember it.
Roll me a sanity check.
I'm gonna have to do it as a... That is still doing. That is not a pass.
You lose 5 sanity points as you view a little sister. And while for the rest of the world, the rest of Rapture, you are invisible, you can't contain the slight inhalation, the slight as you see the eye come around, and you see the profile go rigid, and the little face peeking through the porthole turns and looks in your direction. But let's cut to everybody else that is walking ahead. You all have a transit, like a Port Authority launch terminal in front of you. There are boxes strewn everywhere. The light continues to... And you see Rapture stretches away in this direction. This is a large room, and the shadows are breathing.
Where to now?
I would like to do a spot hidden to find a map. You know, like one of those ones, because it's a travel center, right? They're going to have maps of things. So I would like to try and find one of those, please.
Roll me a spot hidden.
I had success.
You see across the room where it looks as if there is another large tunnel or terminal extending away from this. There is a freestanding, almost A-frame type of construction. And for a moment, you see like an AP, and you realize that if there is a map, that certainly fits at least 2/3 of the bill.
Oh, over there. I'm going to start waddling over, just shuffling over.
Oh, good eye.
What? Oh, yeah.
I said good eye. Never mind. So where is this party? Is we going?
Is there even a party at this point?
You know, I don't know, but I hope there's someone else we could talk to. Creepy. I'm not exactly 100% down to carrying a sword all the time.
I'd like call out or something, but like, can't y'all hear that in the shadows? Make me feel kind of awkward.
Yeah, I'm just staring at the shadows.
Just hear the water.
Lilith, are you moving forward with the rest, or are you staying in the back?
I'm staying in the back. I'm watching those shadows. I've got my gun back, but I'm
Okay.
keeping it aimed in that direction.
Roll me a spot hidden as you do that. Deirdre, you're going towards the map at best possible speed. Right? And
As possible.
Jasper, you're going with Deirdre?
Yeah.
Okay. Zach, are you staying with Lilith or going with Deirdre and Jasper?
I'll stay with Lilith. Lilith's got a gun.
Real world logic.
She seems freaked out about those shadows as well. You know, we're on the same page here.
Fantastic. I love it. Wait a minute. Who's got the gun? That's the person I'm staying with. Right. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Cthulhu.
Right. Okay, so as you are all sitting there and as Deirdre, you're moving forward, I would like spot hidden rolls from Zach and from Jasper. I will let you all know that Sphinx has just donated for everyone to receive a weapon. Sphinx, sensing the end, has decided to weapon everybody up. Sphinx, I will let you know that this will go into play just after this. So, Zach, as you're looking around, you and Lilith are scanning those shadows, those breathing shadows, and as you turn and move, the shadows are playing tricks. They're organic. As the light, they cast shadows that seem to be moving. Nothing, no hard geometry, no point to reference. And in that, Jasper, you see as Deirdre shuffles forward, she, and I'm not taking agency here, but how would you look at the map as you get closer? It's dark, so how would you...
I'll light a match. I probably got some matches in my bag, so I'll open up my bag. And you know what bag's like? It's like, you know, this bag is like Mary Poppins bag. So I'm just like
Coat hanger.
all the way in, yeah, just everything out, you know, like
Aerosol.
spam, yeah, everything like that. So she's literally on the thing, and she's
Coffee.
taking things out while she's putting them on the side while she's looking, completely focused on finding matches.
Jasper, as you see
Hey,
leaning over the map, pouring into the bag, finding those matches, elusive matches, bam, everything else is here. But the gray hair bobbing, you see out of the shadows a large head of a wrench come flying directly for Deirdre's head as you see an absolute mask of rage beneath an equally demonic splintered penguin mask as this face comes in slow motion. You can see it tick with the as this head of this large wrench is going directly for the back of Deirdre. I need you to roll a sanity check.
sanity. Yeah, I was like, I want to do stuff, but I have to have sanity first. There you are. Perfect. Sorry, Deirdre.
You are frozen in fear as you see this coming. If you try to yell, if you try to say something,
Choked back by fear. He's just trying to, but he can't. Stunned.
let me... Deirdre, do you have 30 luck?
I do. I'm gonna use it. Yes.
Here's the devil's bargain. With 30
Yep.
luck, you will take 3 damage and not 6.
Cool, because I would die if I took 6.
So, as
Sorry, whoopsie.
the luck of the aged, perhaps, experience, wisdom, all of that. But as you watch Jasper, the head of this wrench clips the side of Deirdre as she smashes against the map and falls prone. You've lost 3 hit points, my friend, as everything begins to arrive at normal time. The being swings the wrench around, bringing it over their head towards you, Jasper. Everyone roll me some dex so we can figure out who's going first in all this. You can do so too if you'd like to, Felicity.
We're all doing well, I see.
A lot of red.
Roll20 has it out for us today. I don't think we're supposed to live to the second episode.
Ton of red coming through here.
I will survive and be so insane. It's just gonna be the soliloquy of terrified Jasper.
Deirdre, you are effectively stunned for this round, so you would technically go first here. But Tom, we are have to bypass you and go instead to Myth. Myth, Jasper, you are closest. You see this going on. What do you do as this arc comes down to take you out?
Got the blade out. I'm going to try to just jab him in the stomach. I think stunned still. He sees this happen, and I think more out of like a startled, you know, when you back when you were a kid and you startle your dad, and then he swings at you. And then you're like, whoa! but that's what happens when it happens to Jasper. But instead, this happens, and he, as a reaction, not even like, oh, this is going to be brave and cool, I'm going to be heroic. He just instinctually just thrusts forward and hopes to try to catch this thing in the diaphragm. What am I rolling? I'm rolling at this here, right?
Mm-hmm. You can. So as your saber comes in, whether it's just the reactionary or the thrust goes wide, Errol Flynn in manscaping, but not in thrust as you bring it in. But as everything, aesthetic. As everything comes in, this is going to continue to swing down, but we have others that can react here as... Let's see, who's next on my list? It looks like it's going to be... We'll get back to Alice in a second. Scrat, you are next. You and Lilith see her get clipped and go down. What do you do?
Panic! I'm not proud.
Then roll a sanity check for me. Oh, okay. Yeah, roll a sanity check for me as you see her get clipped and fall down. This is a choice.
It's a very sane decision. It's a very sane decision.
This is
choice. This is bad. I'm out.
Okay, so the only escape option to you is back towards the Bathysphere launch. You do not take any sanity loss, but we're going to give Myth, you take 5 sanity loss for your earlier failure. If I gave that to you or not, I forget. And
thank you.
With the I'm running back out there. He found a sword out there. Maybe I'll find something else.
right. And from across the hall in the old folks' home, Mildred Crabapple gives Deirdre 5 HP. So as 5 HP comes in, Mildred, it's not that bad. It hit one of your scarves. It's okay. You're gonna make it.
The clip
scarf's ruined.
Right. So you've been knocked down, but you can immediately take that health as it comes in. I believe Leonie Lilith is up next as we elect to see what we are going to do here.
I'd like to shoot my Derringer, please.
Let's shoot it.
Yes,
Cool.
It hit me.
Well, given how the rolls are going,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I just press the green button.
Yes, please. Okay, so it would be a miss, but
Nice.
if you have luck, you can spend 9 luck to make that a success if you would like.
How much luck do I have 55 luck. Yes, I'd like to spend 9 luck. 9 luck?
9 luck, please. 9. And
Okay.
I will tell you this. I shouldn't, but I will. The magic number, everyone, is 30. You want to keep 30 luck. That gets you out of, well, getting your head cracked in by a wrench. So as the shot rings out, this wrench is coming down with the terminal velocity to take Jasper, at least injure him badly, but a shot takes this person directly in the chest. They fall back, a secondary blast of red hitting the mat behind them as they crack against it and slump down, staring lifelessly ahead. It seems as if whatever damage they have done to themselves probably has taken a lot out of their bodies. But as of right now, this one is getting colder and not older. But let's go to Alice. As the little face looks out and turns towards you, it speaks as if it's coming through a drum or even underwater. Did you lose your Mr. Bubbles too?
Felicity just watches for a moment. She doesn't move, but she stares right back at it, which is probably a bad thing to do. Are you, does this look like a child height, or is this,
the size of the face and the features of the face depict it to be a small child, correct?
Yeah, she sort of, are you okay? Are you lost? Like, she's not too sure why she's questioning a child in a vent, but she's doing it.
I lost my Mr. Bubbles.
And who is Mr. Bubbles?
He's my friend.
Okay, then I know you've lost him, but where did you last see him?
We were trying to go here. And you see the hand pull away, and you hear the rustling of papers as she pulls out a little kind of grimy square of white paper. It's been folded numerous times. Do you know where this is? And hands it out to you.
Felicity approaches she sort of looks around first. She's not just going to walk straight out. And she won't quite reach for the paper. She's like, what's your name? Do you have one?
It's on the paper.
Oh, of course it is. And she, first of all, she looks if she can see it without touching it, like without actually reaching out. She does that sort of awkward lean to look over at it.
Again, it's grimy. There are fingerprints, some of them red, but it's folded to the point where whatever is revealed on the presumably inscribed side is not viewed here in its folded state.
Do you mind if I take it and have a look?
She nods. It's at this point that that Deirdre is getting clipped in the back of the head. You can't hear it yet until there'll be a shot that's going to ring out here in a few seconds, but
she reaches out and she takes the paper, and it's very, very lightly on her. But she pulls it back if she can.
She releases it. She doesn't keep it pinched or anything. But then immediately grabs and kind of pulls forward as if to look at it with you. Have you ever been there?
I'll have a look. She sort of looks at this face and then looks down at the paper.
When you unfold it, you see a rough child drawing of a skyline of a city. You see a woman in green holding aloft a torch, and you see a large yellow ball with yellow crayon marks coming off of it, representing the sun. Have you ever seen that? And she points to the yellow ball.
I have.
Could you take me there?
How long have you been down here?
And in the ways that only children can, she scrunches up her face as the glowing eyes kind of pinch with the squint. And it's just at that moment that a shot rings out, and the child doesn't react at all. A while. But you, Felicity, have heard the shot go off.
Yeah, she'll jump and her head will snap in that direction and look back at the child. Felicity is a psychiatrist. Could I make a roll to see if there's anything this... are they just used to it, or are they displaying anything else that could make them not react?
Absolutely, you can go right ahead and roll.
To this. Okay. Would you like psychology or psychoanalysis?
Dealer's choice. Different information for either.
Let's go psychology. Okay.
From a psychological perspective, you would believe that this person is displaying tendencies of acceptance of the gunshot is so much white noise. Apparently, it's a frequent occurrence, if you were to make a guess.
And she looks in the direction of where the gunshot went before kneeling down, almost at the eye level of this child. And, well, I tell you what, why don't you come with me? And maybe we can go find the sun, but we need to go and find my friends, because we're all going to go and see the sun again. Okay? And she sort of holds out her hand.
Can I have...
She won't take.
She reaches for... Can I have my drawing back?
Of course you can. And she folds it. If it was folded when it was given to her, Felicity will refold it and give it back to the child.
As she takes it, one hand snakes out to grab it and grabs you at the wrist. And another one comes out holding what looks like a hypodermic needle and jams it in the back of your hand. I would like you to roll a D100 for me, please.
It's gonna go wrong. 52.
For a second, you can feel everything around you vibrating. You can see your hands as they begin to speed up and go back and forth. The child's face, the eyes that are glowing begin to kind of blur. It'll be fine. You need to protect yourself. As everything begins to vibrate, I need you to make a sanity check for me.
Okay, it's working now.
Okay. You do not lose any sanity, but you have gained telekinesis as it rushes through your body. The reason why everything felt like it was vibrating around you is because it was. And Scrat, as Zach runs back around the corner in full retreat, you would see that all of those signs and boxes and debris are floating, almost orbiting around Felicity as she's sitting there, the hair lifting off of her head, her clothing lifting off at the ungathered portions of, blouse sleeve or coat tail, and everything seems to be suspended for a moment. Even the little girl's hair that's looking out lifts away, her bangs lift up a bit as everything flies in a perfect stellar circle around the sun that is Felicity. And the little girl's eyes go wide. And then everything crashes to the ground.
Felicity, can I take my hand away as that's happened? Yeah,
she snakes everything back
scurries
inside.
Yeah, she scurries back. She's sort of fallen back, and she moves with her hands, grabbing the one where the needle went in, and rubbing it, and blinking a few times, sort of shaking her head and looking around. But she doesn't really acknowledge Zach. If anything, she just keeps her eye on this child. She's like, "What did you do?"
Helped you. You'll need it.
Help. What? Why do I need it?
People.
What is happening?
Some people play rough. They hurt Mr. Bubbles.
And she leans forward again. Who is Mr. Bubbles? Do you have a drawing of him?
Her head dips down. And again, this is a Splicer is slumping onto the map as blood sprays out behind them. This all taking place over the course of seconds. And another piece of paper comes out, and Mr. Bubbles.
And she quickly reaches out, not snatches it, but it's quicker than before, and looks.
It's a picture of a pretty good drawing of what you believe this girl would look like if she wasn't in a wall vent, standing beside a behemoth, if the proportions are correct. It looks like a Frankensteinian creation of a deep sea diver with a drill for a hand.
And how do you know this person?
He's my friend. And her eyes go wide as she looks out of the hole. I'll meet you at the next one of these. And she, you hear her climb down through the hole, and you hear, bring my picture.
I think, like Felicity, I know she'll miss the child, but she'll run and grab, probably almost mimic what the child did, grabbing with her fingertips through to see if she can see if there's sort of the shape. Is she going down? Is she going up? But she looks through. I will, and keeps hold of the picture in her hand.
Roll me a spot hidden as you kind of peek into the hole. It's very dark, but you do catch just a glimpse of that bioluminescence of those golden eyes as they dip and drop in the same direction that your friends went. But let's cut back to everybody else. Zach, you see Felicity look into this hole, and you experienced everything from a third-party perspective that Felicity experienced from a first-person one. But we need to go back now to Lilith, Deirdre, and Jasper, as you all have a very dead person laying against the map. You're all okay thanks to a legion of storytellers and the spirit of one Mildred Crabapple. But what do you all do? My three that are out in the terminal.
Okay.
Oh, bloody hell! Just stagger to her feet. Oh!
I thought that hit you. Did that hit you?
Oh, it hit my scarf. Oh, my poor
my gosh,
scarf
that was-
is gone.
Sorry I didn't act sooner.
Well, you know, it was really quick.
Very
know.
fast.
Yeah. Maybe I won't walk off on my own now, just in case.
Right, I advise it.
Right, could you kind of move the body off the map so I can have a look, please?
Careful.
And I stick the saber into it. And I just...
There you are.
There's just a smear
Oh, thank you. And she'll
now on the map.
get the blood off.
Right, so this party is definitely changed now.
As I kind of like draw the sword out of the body and point towards it.
Yeah, I would say so.
I'm not sure if we...
You all right there? You all right there?
I'm all right. I wasn't expecting this today. It's. I'll be all right.
Well, take a seat. Take a seat. It'll be all right. Right, now,
thank
where
you.
are we?
Yeah, if I sit where the nearest place that I can, and if there isn't, I will lean up against something that would support me.
There are
Just
plenty.
Take a moment to breathe.
Yeah, there are plenty of grimy seats here. This was a terminal where people would wait to either for people arriving or to depart. But as you sit down, Jasper, you're able to look around and you see, much like a train, a bus, or plane, or an airport, you see that there is a large placard. Now, kind of, you're able to see it down the hall that you haven't been to yet, and it says Bathysphere or Rapture Transit, and it's canceled, all the way down to the end of the sign. It seems that whatever service was offered here has been unavailable for quite a period of time.
Right, so it seems like we have to walk no matter where we go.
Oh,
Everything's
dear.
closed down.
Oh, that's not very good. Right, okay. So, oh, Lilith, dearie, would you mind helping me with this? My old eyes, you see? You know, maybe with us together, we can figure out where we can go.
Deirdre, as you look back at Lilith, you can see that 3 eyes would probably meet you. 2 of them in a skull and 1 of them smoking the eye of the barrel of the gun, as seconds have passed since the shot that ended this thing's life. But that's the view you get, Lilith.
Oh, dear. Oh, it's all right, dearie. It's dead.
It's really not all right. On that map, find a communications tower.
Right, okay. Let's see. I'll have a look for anything like communications, an office, or anything like that.
This is more of a map that you would probably, I'm not going to make you roll for this because it's very well laid out, but it's more of a map for someone that has never been in this place before, which is you all.
Oh, good.
But it's also geared towards being very non-specific. Restaurants. Residential section, there's an arrow kind of leading in different directions from what would be through this following tunnel that you're going through. There's names of like airlock doors and Securus doors.
Anything
and things
like administration?
There's an administration that seems to be, if this map you're looking at from the bottom is south and the top is north, you're at the south. It seems to be at the extreme north.
Yep.
What would be at the extreme west would be Bathysphere Station number 2.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so we got a few options here. There's some lovely restaurants going down this way. I'm not sure if they're open. I wouldn't bet on it, but you know.
I should think, actually.
Well, will probably be serving people, wouldn't they? Anyway, we can go up to head north with administration. I think that's the best port for communication. And then we could go to those things that we just come over here, you know, on the far, was it east or west?
For the Bathysphere or for Bathysphere Station 2 is to the west.
To the west. To the west, over here. But we don't know how to fly them or pilot them or whatever. So without someone to do that, we really can't.
If we make our way over to the admin office and see if we can find George, and then see, because he knows, right?
Yeah. Sorry, pardon me. My memory ain't great. Didn't we have another one or 2? Like, where's the other pretty girl and where's the other strapping young one?
He's a coward. He ran off.
No idea.
Oh, yellow
too busy
belly.
thinking about. Oh,
See, Jasper, you stayed. You were always my favourite.
Thanks.
Oh. But, I mean, did anyone see where that lovely other girl, Felicity, I think her name was, did you see where she went?
I've actually not seen her since we got off.
Oh, no. What if she got taken?
Can we double back?
Oh, I think we should. Yeah.
Right.
It would be about this time, Felicity, that you are pulling your head out of a vent, unable to follow where this small child had gotten lost to or off to. I will say this, welcome in Raiders. We are playing Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. This is our ode to Bioshock called Rapture Below. We have just started as 5 would-be citizens are facing What was to be a dream turned nightmare inside the city limits of Rapture beneath the waves of the mid-Atlantic. But no, you're all back together. You are all gathered in as one. What would you like to do now, armed with the knowledge that you have?
Oh, Felicity, I wondered where you were. I was so worried.
Where did you run off to? What did you find?
Right, okay. So I've got a bit of information, and she holds out the picture. It's like, so we need to find someone called Mr. Bubbles.
What?
Or maybe avoid Mr. Bubbles, I'm not too sure yet, but there's a child that I would quite like to talk to again, somewhere, in another vent. It's a bit complicated.
A child in a vent?
Yes, I know it sounds a bit obscure.
I think she's
for-
been at the booze.
I have not.
I saw it. I saw it.
I don't drink. My mother told me not to.
Oh, very good, very good.
Felicity was like glowing, and there was stuff floating, and it was real strange.
Felicity was glowing and there's stuff floating.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you sure they haven't been on the booze? Because I
I'm not
think,
sure.
you know, it's just...
I didn't draw this picture myself, and she sort of holds it out to Deirdre.
Oh, well, it looks like a child, did it?
Yes, exactly.
Right, okay.
Apparently, she's moving around in the vents here somewhere. We need to find her. And from this drawing, she says this Mr. Bubbles is her friend. I'm not too sure how much he would like to be our friend, but it is best to be aware.
Okay. Well, I've read the map. And these are different. If you want to come over here, you can have a look at the map over here. Sure. But we're thinking either administration to communicate with people, or we find George and go to the little things that got us here.
Bathysphere. As long as we find George, I think that'll help. Doesn't really matter where we go.
I mean, maybe George is in administration.
Oh, it might be.
It sounds like a logical place to go.
George also sounded like he was in trouble.
He did.
Oh.
True, and he did not sound too stable.
He did. Look, we could go and look for George. Personally, I think he'd be more likely to be in like a prison or a brig. But also, we could just get the fuck out of here.
Do you know how to pilot one of those Bathyspheres?
Between the 5 of us, we're supposed to be great minds or something, right? We can figure it out.
I'm a bloody chemist. What the hell am I gonna do with that?
Chemist.
You want a shave? You want a haircut? I'll do that.
Chemist, barber. I'm a singer.
Oh yeah, that's gonna bloody help, isn't it? While piloting the thing.
Perfect. We got
Well, we
ourselves
try
three
and work
pilots
it.
right
You're
here.
gonna sing us a song.
They didn't bring down any mechanics or anything. None of you are mechanics. I know Felicity's. God.
I'm a psychiatrist. I'm your psychiatrist.
I know.
Why does he need a psychiatrist? Oh, never mind.
I'm sorry, that's personal information.
Yeah, of course.
I'm afraid I can't leave.
Why?
What's that?
Don't you want to know what happened? I have to find out what happened.
All right, but we need to find
Really?
like guns or something.
There is a
got a gun.
child running around, and I think Lilith is completely right. We can't just leave this.
Right. Okay. So
There's a
So,
child
right.
running around.
there's also
Just running
people
around
with.
people's masks. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, why don't we aim for an area to go? We work towards getting out, but then we learn along the way. Well, what do you think of that?
Get out. I like that.
Get out.
Yeah.
It's a perfect idea for me.
I mean, we might find them along the way. We don't know where they've gone, so.
I need a radio station or a telegram system or something.
I think administration then would be the best.
From
And
your,
anything, you know, they're going to find out if anything went on, that's where it's going to be.
from your studies, Deirdre, you would know that to get anywhere, you have to exit the terminal station through a broad tunnel that's just past where you were. Again, it's filled with the flickering lights and the sinister quality of Rapture, but there is one way out of this area.
Oh, good. Deirdre's also going to take out kind of like a small notebook, and she's going to very quickly do a sketch of the map. Just, you know, like very basic, just general directions on where things are. So she's going to do that and then wait for everyone else to start to leave.
Nice, and I will not make you roll for that, and I will give you, because of your map skills, I'll give you a plus 30 to navigation at any point. Whoever's in possession of the mythical map. Are you all moving towards the tunnel then, the one way out?
Aye.
An eye open. Maybe we'll see a police officer or something. A gun or a baton, you know.
As
How many
you
more shots you got in that there?
As I gesture to Lilith.
Good question, DM. I'm a Brit. I don't know guns. How many shots does a Derringer? I did try and Google it and got many too.
Shot
Okay.
two.
Do I have any ammo stashed on my person?
Why don't you roll a luck to see if it made it through?
I'll keep a Derringer for protection and ammo.
No.
You did have
Not that
some.
lucky.
You did have some on you, but you don't know through. Something had happened. You don't have it, so you have one shot left. As you are all moving towards, there's just a large door that seems to open into what would be the tunnel beyond. But as you are going, Felicity, you would notice that there is another one of those vents just beside this large door, and you see a little white arm reach out and do a quick come over here.
I do not like that.
She pauses for a moment and she goes over there. It's the only lead she has. She's like, "Are you okay?"
Yes. Roll a D100 for me, Felicity.
Another plasmid.
61.
Okay, with a 61, you see her kind of duck down, and you see a weapon identical to what Jasper is wielding come out. You see the handle of it. Here, as she's lifting it.
She starts like, she's like, "Where did you get this?" She's trying to like get it out of this vent.
She pops up in the circle and says, "They're all over." And she goes,
I'm not looking around.
She looks at Felicity. You can just see the eyes. Are those your friends?
You see what I mean? Get the fuck out of here.
Do we see this? Everyone
Yeah,
else?
everyone can see this, yeah. But
Bloody
She's
hell,
cra-
she was
but-
telling the truth.
yeah,
She's
she is.
crouched down at her level. Yes.
Just
they
wait, she
are.
might start glowing in a second.
She kind of looks around Felicity and then points at Lilith. Roll a D100, Lilith.
Stash this kid. So-
You see her dip down and she sees you holding your Derringer, and she nods and goes down, and you see the face appear again, and a handle of a revolver comes out. This one's bigger.
Bigger's always better. And I approach and I take it, but I'd like to kneel down too.
You can. She pulls back, but you can see the eyes in the darkness. So there's like the vent and then a good foot of darkness and the eyes, as if she doesn't want to be within grabbing distance.
Greg, I'm trained in biology.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll to see what could possibly cause the brightness in a child's eyes? Like
Sure,
that?
yeah, go right
Is it-
ahead.
If yeah,
It's
Oh,
not a
that's
magic spell,
happening.
but
yeah.
While that's happening, I'd like to just
Nope.
ask, where are your parents?
the word seems to confuse her a bit. Mr. Bubbles was hurt.
Mr. Bubbles is your parent?
Again, the eyes kind of scrunch up. You can see the squinting against the bioluminescence. Yes.
Right.
I think Felicity looks towards Lilith and Jasper and is just
Right, then
nodding.
Let's find this kid's father. I wasn't expecting to hopefully find the kid so I didn't have to feel this, but now I feel it, so we should probably go and find to help the kid. And then get out of here.
Felicity looks back at the child. Do you want your drawing back?
Yes, but looks at Jasper with the kind words and the tone coming out. Roll a D100, Myth. All courtesy of Sphinx, I might add. Oh! With the kind words and the talk of parents and Mr. Bubbles, I need help. And you see a barrel come up from the circle, and it keeps coming up. And you see a handle and then a drum right behind it. You need help! As a Tommy gun with a half drum hits. Help!
All right, sorry. What? How did? Oh my!
It looks at everybody else wide-eyed.
I have no idea. And I just pulled the Tommy gun out of the vent.
It is a Tommy gun, and I will give you the ridiculous statistics for that one before our next session.
Gosh.
As looks around and sees Deirdre and those large eyes that you just can't place, Deirdre, blink. Roll a D100.
Okay. $59.
Kind of weighs and measures for a moment as if selecting a perfect present for somebody, and goes back down, and you see what looks like a cane coming up.
Ooh.
It's heavy, and
I'll try.
as you pull on the end of the kind of the circle part of the cane, it breaks open and a blade is on the other side. It comes apart as she pushes it.
Oh, thank you. Would you like a toffee?
The eyes squint again. No.
Okay, no problem.
And for a moment, because there was bad, foul language that came out of the mouth of the last person, there's a squint as if there's a possibility that there might not be the awarding of a final present. But finally, they settle on Zach. Roll me a D100. With a nod, she goes down and comes back up and gives you a little knife about this long.
What the?
Here, I got this. Here, let's trade.
I give you the Tommy gun.
Really? You want this over the Tommy gun?
I'm much better with blades. I'm a barber.
Or are you compensating for something?
With my small knife? Yes.
And your big sword?
Oh, here's the blade. I'll take the Tommy gun. Okay. How does this thing work anyway?
I don't know. I think you pulled the trigger.
Oh, I'm not very nervous with him having that.
At this conversation of not knowing how to use it, you would all see the child lean further down into the vent, just kind of peeking with one eye out to make sure. But then the child looks at Felicity, looks at everyone else, and Felicity, you would see a glowing hypodermic needle come up, and the small hand comes out and extends towards Lilith. It will help.
What's she doing?
Oh my, well, she gave us
She's got a
weapons.
needle. I wish. What's in that needle? I'm gonna go a little closer. Excuse
That's exactly
me,
what I would like to know.
excuse me, little girl. I'm a person who's very smart in things like this. What is in the needle?
Adam.
Oh, I don't know what Adam is. That's not on the periodic table or anything like that.
She changes her hand offering from Lilith to Deirdre, and the eyes get wider.
turns to Philip. What she do? She injects you, and then what happens?
Felicity looks at this child and back at Deirdre. Is like, if I'm honest, I don't know. I'm not a scientist like you.
Right. Could I take? And she's gonna go like off to take the needle, not to be stabbed, but could I take it to examine? Is that all right, my dearie?
As you reach for it, you get stabbed. Roll me a D100.
Oh! It's gonna happen.
14.
Ooh. Let me get rid of my other chart. As you pull back, everyone would see Deirdre's hands burst into flame. The edges of her cardigans would singe and sear around the cuffs. You would see the flesh burn off of her hands. I need you all to make me a sanity check as you see the activation of Incinerate.
Perfect. I am just a little scaredy.
If you fail, take 3 sanity point loss, please.
I will be the first to go.
And so, as your hands burn away, they are immediately replaced with a lick of fire with the flesh that was beneath them before. But you can feel a warmth. You don't think you need all of your cardigans anymore.
I'm gonna take off 2 cardigans. I better keep 4 on just to be on the safe side, you know. Those 2 are singed anyway. It's fine. Oh, and it doesn't hurt.
Oh, it hurt like hell, but it doesn't hurt now.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Oh, how does... I want more of that, Adam.
I'm gonna grab...
And thus a Splicer was born.
Yeah. Could I... Is there anything around that I could, like, throw on top of her? Maybe as she's taking her cardigans off, I grab a cardigan and then just drape it over her and start to beat out the flames.
Sorry, everybody, my headphones cut out. Go right ahead, Myth. I'm sorry.
Saying that I'm going to grab the cardigans as she's taking them off and, like, in frantic panic, and then put them over her and start beating out the flames that are on her.
Deirdre, you're on fire. Here, don't worry. I'll save you this time.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm delicate.
There.
Oh, my hero.
And I think he just keeps doing that until he sees no flames.
And they're out. They're out.
Okay, all right, good. Okay.
And as you do this, and as you put Deirdre out, Deirdre hasn't moved away from anywhere, and you feel a pinch in the back of your arm, Jasper, as a hand with the hand with the hypodermic comes back through the vent. Roll me a D100, please.
Oh my.
So in an absolute reversal, instead of fire, the barber's ice begins to collect underneath your fingernails as long shards of frozen matter break, leaving you with hands of just frost and smoke. And then they are whole. But you do feel a lot colder than what you were.
I think I look back over, terrified and panicked at the child. Cold breath leaving my mouth, and frost gathering at the tips of my handlebar mustache. And I'm like, what was that? Ah! And I go to, like, raise my hand at the child. He is so much, like, panicked and freaking out of so much stuff. I think that's where he's gonna. And he's just.
I'm gonna put a cardigan on him.
Yeah, can I bat that hand away? Like, don't threaten children.
The eyes would then turn to Lilith and Zach, and the needle would kind of wag back and forth, and the hand would come out again, wanting it to be filled with either Lilith's or Zach's.
Okay, good then.
Roll me a D100.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, everybody, don't share your little sister needles at home, please. That's not...
Yeah.
Perfect. As the actress, you feel the bite in the back of your hand, and as you pull back, everyone would see arcs of electricity jumping all over Lilith as you pull your hands apart, and between the two palms, a large blue lacing of energy comes back between you as your hair lifts off a bit, and within a moment of this expulsion, it is gone, but you feel energized. And the last
We're all doing this, right? All right.
When in Rome.
Oh, yeah.
All right, fine. Let's do this.
She waits, but this time, instead of the hand coming out of the vent, it's almost in the vent. Like you're gonna have to put it in like Flash Gordon style to...
Why you gotta do it? Why you baiting me like this, huh? I'd reach my hand in slow.
And because I want everyone to have their own, I'm not gonna make you roll here, Scrat. All of you start hearing... And when you pull your hand out of the vent, it looks like a honeycomb of bees going in and out of the flesh as these insects are crawling all over your hands. And there's a deafening... And when she looks back up... When she looks back up, she has like a little like net over her face, like a beekeeper's hood. There.
Oh.
You're safe.
Oh, thank you. A little girl. Where do you get? I mean, what is in this? What is it? What was it called? Adam, you said, yeah. Where'd you get it?
She points across right beside, kind of opposite her wall to the wall beside the big door.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an advertisement there. And it says, as you look at everything, buy and evolve Plasmids from Ryan Industries.
Oh, I gotta go to one of these shops. Oh.
Someplace called the Gatherer's Garden is where they're apparently available for purchase.
I'm gonna look at the map.
You don't really see anything that kind of indicates that. There's a lot of symbols on there that don't make much sense. So I'll allow you to kind of get a vague idea about what it is. It'll help. We'll say that any type of specific location, like perhaps an item drop or something, you'll get a +10 with navigation. How's that?
Okay. Okay. So it doesn't tell me the general vicinity of where the garden is. Okay.
It seems to be like, hey, you just got here. These are like the 3 places you need to go.
Got you. Okay.
Kind of inspirational. Give me ideas for new music, maybe Jazz and Hive.
What?
Like Jazz and Hive music, like music that kind of buzzes.
All right. That's interesting.
I will. If you so only just through that to those shops is where you get them. Great, thank you very much.
I don't know if I want to do any more of that.
No, I want to know what makes it tick.
She points through the big door. Through that big door, you'll need a key to open the other side. It should be in there, though.
The key should be in there.
Yes, last time I was there, it was in there.
The key we're talking about now, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Is there any other way in? I mean, because if this is locked, how do we,
Well, that door's open.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
It's the other door that's locked.
Ah,
You would know from your map
okay.
too, Deirdre, that this is kind of like an airlock type of situation
Oh,
where
I see.
it one end of the tunnel opens up and then you go through the tunnel to points unknown and then open another door to go to another section, but that secondary door probably requires a key. As you do this and as you all kind of begin to gather with whatnot, the little girl looks out at Felicity.
Felicity sort of has come forward. She's got the paper out ready, but she does, again, she's already knelt down, sort of shuffles on her knees on these trousers towards her. Yes?
She opens up the original paper and points to that red ball with the lines coming off of it. What's this called?
This, and she points at the sun. This is the sun.
The sun.
Yes.
Do
you not have a name for it?
No. Will you show it to me?
I'm sure I can do that.
She points to the door. Be careful out there. They're the ones that got Mr. Bubbles.
Okay. You be careful too. And will you be in... She sort of gestures to these air vents. Will you still be in these? Moving around?
Yes. And she hands the picture of her and Mr. Bubbles back to you.
You want me to keep this?
Would you kindly?
She sort of looks at her for a moment. Yes. All a little bit confused, but yes.
See you on the other side.
Wait, the other side, what does that mean?
And I think Felicity just sits back on her heels.
I think she likes you.
What the hell is going on here? Oh, children coming out of vents. It's got really cold in here. It was just super hot a moment ago. You're on fire.
Yeah.
She's gonna see us on the other side.
Other side of what?
I don't know.
Assume Rapture, right?
What comes after Armageddon?
Ooh, it's getting very
Time
philosophical.
to get biblical here.
Felicity just looks down at that drawing.
What, if you don't mind, what's the drawing of?
It's her and her friend.
Ooh. Have a look at the drawing.
When
I
Deirdre...
think she... Sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when Deirdre takes it, you notice for the first time on the back of the paper, the word Phoebe is written.
Ooh. I think her name's Phoebe. We're on the back there. See, Felicity?
Maybe.
Right, anyway, don't we think we should get going? We can't stay here. We gotta get going. Gotta find more plasmids and,
Right.
and other things.
Get out of here. That's the plan. Out of here.
Oh, and I mean, we could take the girl with us. Is she okay down here? We you know, I am a bit worried. A little girl going around a place like this.
She's clearly got access to an armory.
It's
She's got
true.
glowing eyes.
I mean,
She's
you got a
fine.
point there. Is that you got a point? All right, point well taken. Yeah,
She's
yeah.
even got beekeeping equipment in these vents close to hand.
Actually,
She's fine.
while you're doing that, I would like to examine you.
What?
If you don't mind. Just while we walk.
What do you mean examine me?
Oh, I want to see your arm. I want to see what makes these
you're
things tick.
What bees coming out of your arm there?
It's not
Yeah.
ticks, it's bees.
Yeah, well, I want to know what makes you bee. I want to know what makes you buzz.
Well, the
Nice.
bees.
Yeah, but I want to know. Just let me look at your arm.
I mean, all right. I need to figure out how to use this Tommy gun, all right?
Okay. Oh, one thing at a time. And Deirdre will just kind of like just be looking at his arm. So as they're walking, she'll just be slowly just having a look, seeing how this happened. Maybe a prod here and there to see.
You can
maybe
roll.
the bees are actually.
Yeah, you can roll me a biology to see, but the big door is pretty close to this little area. It's like 15 feet away, so
Mhm.
it'll.
That's a success.
Yeah, you can start to see that there's Zach's arm looks fine. It doesn't have that honeycomb quality to it anymore, but every once in a while, it looks as if something's running beneath his skin. You just see it kind of lift for a second, and then it's gone.
Interesting. Very interesting.
You are at the door.
All right, it's open, right?
Well,
yeah, it's a big door. You kind of have to.
All right, who's gonna help me out? And I start uncranking the crank or whatever it is that opens the door.
Here you go, Zach. Go help him out.
As soon as you kind of undo the crank, it starts to swing on its own accord. It takes a couple sturdy ones, and then it swings and retracts off along the side of the wall. And as it opens, you are blinded by a second by these great lights that seem to be glowing and shooting out at you. And you wonder what type of rig or structure this is on, until the structure starts to move. And you hear and a large foot. And as this creature, a Frankensteinian deep sea diver with a drill for a hand, turns and looks towards all of you, you can see a triangular key dangling from its massive neck. And that is where we will end this episode of Bioshock Rapture Below. Oh my goodness, what fun, everybody. Thank you so much, chat, for being fantastic and helping all of us tell this wonderful story by including the plasmids and the weapons and the more plasmids and making Deirdre a drug addict, a splicer already, my wildest dreams, big daddies galore, and a fantastic cast who bought in hook, line, and sinker with Rapture. Loved it so very much. Let's go in opposite order as we'll start with Leonie. Leonie, my friend, how are you and where can we find you online?
Oh, hello. Yeah, I think I'm fine. This is fine, I guess. No, thank you for inviting me. I had lots of fun. I can't wait until next week, right? Find out how are we going to get that key off that big daddy. But when I am not here, I am over on Goldheart Group. You may have seen me in the chat. I am back over there tomorrow playing Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage. I play a drow Sorkadin, and I like to one-shot things.
Fantastic! Who doesn't? As we drop down to Scrat. Scrat, my friend, how are you and where can we find you?
I am fantastic. Thoroughly enjoying playing Call of Cthulhu again. It's been a while. I'm Scraticus. You can find me over at the Scraticus Academy. Hey, look at me. I got my own command. Look at that. Look at that, Greg. Thank you. The home of new tabletop role players. We have 5 games a week, welcoming 10 new players every week. We'll be back. We stream Mondays to Thursdays. Next week we'll be here on Greg's channel again, but also later next Thursday next Friday, even on Valentine's Day. I know what day of the week it is. We'll be starting a 24-hour charity stream for St. Jude's Children's Research Charity as well. So come and check that out for us.
Fantastic. And down to the other co-creator of the Academy, Alice, my friend, how are you?
Oh, hi. I love this game. I normally always DM Call of Cthulhu. I never really get to play in it, so I was super happy to be with this wonderful crew here and get to play it. Basically everything Scrat said. I'm the other half of that. Also, I'm White Rabbit Pick on Twitter, so go check that out. I do photography and stuff, and I have some more stream projects that are coming soon. Thank you for having me back. I love this.
Fantastic, fantastic. And then over to Tom. Tom, my friend, you're a splicer. You're a splicer, Thomas.
Splicer.
How are
I
you?
always knew that I'd be the first one to turn to a splicing. I loved it. I loved it. It's great to be here, Greg. This has been waiting for ages to get on one of your shows, but time differences and all that are always a pain in the ass to sort with. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't wait for next week. See if Deirdre, the oldest person, probably in Rapture, to see if she survives. I'm not very hopeful. But loved it. You can find me on Twitter with Hotflakes Tom. I also encounter roleplay on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock GMT, 2 p.m. Eastern, I think, whatever, 5 hours before that, for Spyhander, which is great. Thursdays on Black Cats Gaming, I'm doing After the Fire. The new season starts, season 3. And here, next Friday. I can't wait to see you all there.
Fantastic, fantastic. And your command is stuck on just a hot link. I will make sure that it is both fleshed out and a Hot Flakes Tom link next time. Myth, my friend, how are you and where can we find you?
And that was great. Thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful storytelling experience. I love the world of Bioshock. I think it's super cool. And I love the deep. That's just really what it is. And also Cthulhu. So thank you very much for that. And also an excuse for me to shape my face into this wonderful facial hairdo. Anyway, my name is Mythomatic or Cord. You can find me on twitter.com/Mythomatic, also twitch.tv of the same name. I'm a full-time content creator and voice actor here on Twitch. I'm currently doing a Star Citizen sci-fi movie, an RP series that it is taking up a little bit more time than I would hope, so I'm not really streaming as often, but I am around. I'm on several tabletop shows throughout this month, as well as premiering the LFM_Networks Dark Sun show this Tuesday, known as Rise of the Veiled Alliance. I'm super excited about that. You can follow me on Twitter for more information about that. I can't wait for next week to play with all of you again. Thanks for having me once again. Thanks for playing with me, everybody. Nice meeting you all.
Fantastic, everyone. And Myth's Twitter link is in the chat, as is Veiled Alliance's Twitter link. So please follow all for the information to come. Several friends of the channel will be involved. So make sure we throw our community support behind good, kind projects, which is the basis of all of that. As for me, I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. I enjoy playing games with friends, but I also enjoy having friends that are so kind. All of these people, despite being Splicer addicts, are very kind. And that's just the best. When I know I can look forward to having a fun, safe, terrifying game with friends is just the best. I suggest you all do the same. Join us over on our Discord channel. The link is, actually I can throw the link up in chat. But that is a great place to join us for community games, and then also go over to the Scraticus Academy. That is where you want to go if you're just getting into RPGs, you're not sure what you want to do, experience it all. We have a wide community. Please follow Leone. Everybody has just a ton of great projects going on, and I will personally vouch for everyone in that kind beats a lot, everybody, especially in this day and age, and I suggest strongly that we all attempt to fill our lives with more of it. And as for that, there really isn't much more to do other than to say, as the campfire goes down, there's not much left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s. You can always role play. I'm very glad I can do so with this great cast. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. Legion, your support means everything. Tell stories, friends.